welcome back to
I hate you guys.
What's that?
I hate you guys.
to Babble On. We just watched.
We wanted to introduce you to some light television.
I was so excited for this, and then you hit me in the face with a dead kid and a filicide. Oh my god! I'm swearing in the first minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. There will be some bleeping that happens there. But we just watched Believers. And it may have engendered some emotions and some thoughts, which we will get into after we introduce ourselves.
I've been doing a lot.
About to lecture me.
not to sound super woo-woo, but I do live in Los Angeles. I've been doing a lot of heart chakra work lately.
I can vouch for
and
that.
it is too open for this.
Okay.
Do not make me cry a second time on the internet today.
Okay.
I feel like we're going to cry a lot over the course of this show. Anyway, I'm sorry. Who are we? I'll put aside all of that.
Who cares?
For a minute.
Yes. We are the Babble On crew. I am Jenny. I'm a big fan of the show. Watched it multiple times.
I'm Jen. I'm also a big fan of the show, and I watched it once a long time ago with lots of holes in my episodes.
I am Gus. I'm a big old nerd. First time watcher.
Emotionally wrecked.
Who are you? Who are you, wife of mine sitting next to me?
I don't know. I'm Allie. And I'm depressed. And I'm a screenwriter, and this is my first time watching Babylon 5, obviously.
Yes. And you have, it sounds like you all have some emotions. And
I've been working so hard the past few weeks, and I was like about to watch a relaxing episode of Babylon 5 with my friends and my husband, and you hit me with the familicide. What the
See, here's the thing. We had the Jeff-isode. Yes. Absolute blast. What a riot. Cheekbones akimbo, punching fascists, absolute banger. Nonstop.
Yes. Then no, the show isn't woke.
The show has no political opinions at all. Yes, I know. No. Then the Kosh-isode. Kosh did a bunch of stuff. We had complicated moral problems, but then we blew up Space Hitler. It was great.
Yeah.
And then this.
Yep.
Which was amazing. I'm not taking it away from that. It's incredible television. Whoa, oh my god!
Yeah.
What a vibe shift.
It was the dawn of the streaming age. 4 friends, bound by a shared love of stories, embark on a journey to a legendary space station. 2 veterans of the ancient television wars, revisiting a familiar battlefield. 2 newcomers, eager to explore its mysteries and unravel its secrets. Their mission? To boldly go where many have gone before. This is the story of Babble On. The year is 2025. The place, wherever you get your podcasts.
Just to, as you're saying, incredible television, I will remember at the beginning to tell you who wrote this one. This
was it
written
JMS?
No, it was written by David Gerard. Oh, how do I say his name? Gerald? Yeah, David Gerald.
Yeah.
Give him $1 million.
Well done.
And he was assigned. So I remember the first episode you asked how it worked.
He was assigned this episode?
Yes. And you asked how this works with a show that's all planned out. It's going to get worse, Allie. The reason he was assigned this episode is JMS knew that he had recently adopted a child about the age of Sean and thought he would be able to
relate.
Yeah, have emotional resonance with this.
What?
Yeah.
Jen, you have children.
What?
Do you want to write about kids dying? Do you think you could do that?
I do that on the daily. What? That's what I do.
Yeah.
I always write about that.
Oh my God.
Hey, man.
Do you want to emotionally devastate yourself for entertainment?
It's interesting because when your kid is like the same age, I remember watching some things when my kids were of the same age of something like really traumatic, and I was like, no, I'm out. I'm out. Checked out. Not doing it.
Jen, how do you feel about the Hunger Games right now?
Yeah. Which is, and it is. Yeah. I mean, that's. I'm trying to think if
they're
the first
doing.
movie actually
They cast Sunrise on the Reaping. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No. I was just saying that. I was just saying when I watched the first one. I think I'm trying to remember. I don't remember what time when the first one came out. How old my kids were, but they just cast Sunrise on the Reaping, right? With like
age appropriate actors.
Yeah.
We have to read that.
I'm listening to it. I just started listening to it actually.
So I'm accidentally spoiled on one thing that happens. I'm
taking off the head. I can't be here. I got to preserve the sanctity of the first time reader experience.
and I've seen the actor that they cast.
No, I can't be here.
And I'm going to be really upset.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, didn't we all, and even in the first one, weren't we all devastated with?
Well, I was Katniss's age when it came out, so I was like kind of devastated. But it's like that thing where you're like, but I'm like that age group, so you don't yet recognize how young that is. Like you think about the younger kids, like, oh, that's young. But like you yourself, you're like, well, 16 isn't that young.
We're avoiding the episode.
Yeah, you're trying to talk about what just happened. Yeah,
and it is. You guys, have you read it? Have you read it yet, Gus?
Sunrise,
or Hunger Games?
Sunrise.
No,
not yet.
We're going to
read it on the podcast.
Okay. Then I won't say anything because I literally just started listening to it. But okay, 16.
Guess say nothing. Nothing. But
16,
okay,
nothing. I have a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay, Jenny, you want to fucking
Did we want to hear my notes?
Wring our hearts out?
Did we want to hear my notes?
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, let's push back talking about that.
This episode, yes.
I just am like, I did do work on that. Okay,
yes,
because Allie watched the Jeff-isode and the Kosh-isode and took notes.
I did.
Yes.
I did do that because Jenny said, I hope Allie does. And I was like, well, now I have to. So I did.
Ellie, you are known for your excellent note taking. I mean, it was an assumption that would happen because you're so good at it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
So this is for the Jeff-isode. Sopranos in space.
She hadn't seen my previously on. She didn't know about the mob's going to break his legs.
Don't ever owe people money. That's what the TV has taught me. Cut your head off feels extreme, even for killing someone. They're like, in one day we cut your head off, and I was like, that is a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
I mean, that's like extra. Okay. And there's a target. The plot continues to thicken like a stew. And then I said, and it's our boy, what's his name? I forgot Jeff's name.
You forgot Jeff?
I forget everyone's name but Garibaldi.
Jeff.
No. Yeah. And then I said,
he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the most important guy.
I am aware.
The entire show hinges on Jeff.
How long did it take me to know all the names in the Wheel of Time?
It took you like 3
so
books.
Long. Yeah. So I'm not sure why we're surprised right now. It has not been nearly 3 seasons. Okay. No. Is this not also a plot from Sopranos? The 90s really wanted to address gambling problems.
It's a big vice.
I see. And now the 2 plots become one. It took a lot less time than this episode for the 2 plots to become one.
That's true.
And then I said, what is happening? And then I don't know what that was in reference to. And I said, a sudden influx of money in your account. Not suspicious at all.
Also, dude, like, apparently your bank accounts are on open source.
Yeah, you can just look at somebody's bank account.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's, as has been screamed at me in the comments, it's a military station.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I kind of understand needing to be able to see that.
Yep, that's true. Where's your money coming from?
In that case. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Grey Council is creepy, not gonna lie.
What the fuck y'all doing after we leave?
I mean, we just say linear over and over again, and then that's it.
linear. Do you mean the Grey Council like in the show, or you mean the Grey Council, me and Jenny?
The show.
Yeah. She's talking about the show, but also us. Yeah.
And then I said,
with the tool veils and stuff.
And then I said, Jeff yearns to punch.
And then he does.
Oh, look, it's xenophobia being gross as usual. I just really love how every now and then we get a comment on how we are ruining Babylon 5 by being too woke when this is the fucking show. We are not woke. Your media literacy just sucks. It's okay to be dumb. Just maybe have the sense to be quieter about it. Anyway, I was on my feelings earlier.
Oh, you're antagonizing them.
Am I wrong?
Really
Did I stutter?
No,
Did I stutter? Am I wrong? Anyway.
Yeah.
No, I just want people to feel discouraged leaving those kind of comments because I will roast you. I will be like, you're dumb. Anyway, also, if you want me to call you dumb, please continue. Also, if you're leaving hate comments on her fucking YouTube videos, I know you are one of those boring people in the world because who else has time to leave hate comments on free entertainment? Anyway. I just wanted it to be known.
When I watch a video,
you will belong in the dustbin with me.
What?
Yes. But when I watch a video I don't like, I turn it off. Like that's what I do.
Oh.
Imagine spending the extra time.
Crazy. You know what I've never done? Left a negative comment on anything. You know why? I have a fucking life. And I'm still going in the dustbin. Unlike Norma Jean, Marilyn Monroe. Which had 3 likes, by the way. I was like, the fuck?
My God.
The comment got 3 likes?
Yeah. It was like, it was their alt accounts, but I'm sure.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
It was all their sock puppets. Anyway, get someone who looks at you like the creepy blonde man looks at Jeff.
Oh, Night 2?
Yeah.
Dude, I love Night 2. Night 2 revival when? Bring him back.
Night 2 lives in here.
Yeah.
And then he threw the hood back and he was like, it's you or whatever. I know you. And I was like, I bet it's Delenn. I bet more than the gambler on this. Jeff punched his way out of the Matrix.
He did. He totally punched his way out.
You can never out-punch Jeff.
No.
Oh no, he's going to shoot someone probably. No, not the security lady. Firing in the middle of everyone is always a choice.
Smart. Very smart.
Seems like we got to tackle him. I was in favor of just tackling him from the side. Delenn had different ideas. Ideas I wouldn't have gone with personally. I would have gone in favor of team tackle. I would have been like, let's bum rush and tackle him. That's me and Delenn are just not the same that way. Okay. And she's like, don't worry, that's my husband. I think probably. Anyway, being delusional and then hurting a friend is my worst nightmare. Like me going insane and killing like a friend of mine. Like, oh, could you imagine?
I can't. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Worst nightmare. Other than, what this episode was. Anyway. Give me $1,000. That was correct.
Yes.
Yay, he got the scary blonde man. This episode slaps. I really like the episode. Government conspiracy in my comfort show. Killed. Is that really necessary? Everyone is so quick to jump to killing Jeff.
This was the guy who
Everyone wants to kill Jeff.
The guy who lives in Delenn's closet who was like,
yeah.
We're going to kill him if he remembers anything, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then this was episode 2. I said, oh, wow. Good thing she didn't overreact. The lady was like punching the shit out of the lady.
Yes.
Pretty epic. Nataf had it.
But it turns out she kind of didn't overreact.
No,
I didn't realize she was a war criminal. So
yeah, no.
She's
that is how we should treat war criminals.
She's straight up space Hitler.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say it in the previously on purpose, by the way.
Yeah, so I didn't have to animate Space Hitler.
You know what Jenny should not ever have to animate? Anything to do with that.
With Hitler?
No.
Yeah, please don't make me animate Hitler.
I will never make you animate Hitler. I'll make you animate Kosh drinking a daiquiri out of
a twirly straw.
And if that makes us woke, then I'm cool with that. Here's the thing about being woke, really quick. That's not an insult to me. I really appreciate it because I like being told that I give a fuck about people. Anyway, continuing. It's a compliment, actually. So you self-own. Anyway, so and I'm like, so are you asleep? Like, what? Anyway.
Jeff was.
Haven't we seen something called a Death Walker before?
No.
But no, it was a soul stealer.
Soul hunter.
Soul hunter.
And then I said, oh, good. It's the marsupial who always makes things better.
That's his
and this is about the hat guy. I was like, I think I've seen this guy walking around WeHo.
You definitely have.
And that's very true.
Is West Hollywood. It's a neighborhood.
Okay, I was about to say, I don't know what that is.
And that hat that hat would kill there.
That's classic WeHo behavior.
Yeah, it is.
Wearing the hat.
If that guy were on the street in West Hollywood,
no one would look.
Fucking bat.
You know what's so funny is I was in full period dress walking down the street grabbing tacos before like I was gonna do a show, and nobody looked.
Wow,
that's Hollywood.
Wow.
That's Hollywood. No
Nobody
one will look
gives
at
a
you.
fuck.
Not one person, not even the children cared about the fact that I was in a princess outfit. No one cared. I had a full corset on getting tacos. No one cared. Anyway, this guy is the literal no thoughts, just vibes. War crime Wendy over here. Dun, dun, dun. Good. And then I said, okay, so like this show definitely is anti-woke. I was not over this apparently, and I will never be.
No.
Anyone who thinks this show is woke is dumb. This definitely isn't at all a reference to anything, and it's just a fun show with no message.
Yes.
You're right. We're
You're
wrong.
Right.
We're gonna get so many comments.
I don't give a fuck. I am nourished by your hatred. I am nourished by it.
Also, comments are good. I said this to Gaston. He's like, "What should I say?"
Comments are good.
Yeah,
they're good for
you're
the
just
algorithm.
giving us engagement. You're just giving us engagement, and I don't give a fuck. I think it's hilarious. We make fun of you anyway.
Yeah,
so,
we totally do.
So keep doing it.
We actually call you Cockroach Vader with an arm
Yes,
cannon.
we literally call you that. It's so funny to me. Like I read them and I just crack up in my backyard today. So keep doing it. It's hysterical. And we will make fun of you and think you're stupid. All right. These orders stink. Strong words from Garibaldi.
I love him.
These orders stink. And I'm like, this is a grown man.
I love him. He watches Daffy Duck.
These orders are poopy.
These are poopy pants orders,
These
Captain.
are some doo-doo commands. Do this.
Okay. And then this is the last one. I said, I see. It's crimes against sentience now. Like instead of humanity, I was like, I see. And then I was like, super inclusive, but the show isn't woke.
Did you notice, by the way, Jen pointed this out, the lead representative of the League of Minor Nations is a woman?
Yeah.
But the show isn't it's not woke.
No, not woke at all.
No, we're trying to make it woke.
Yes.
We're ruining it.
A minor errata, but it was just me being stupid. I kept saying League of Nations. It's not nations. They're in space.
Jane will be happy.
Yes.
Listen.
Planets? Is it planets?
It's a League of Non-Aligned Worlds is what it is. But League of Nations it sounds anyway.
Wasn't there a League of Nations at one point?
Yes, as Jane will inform us in the comments. Jane, please in the comments tell us about the League of Nations.
Please,
it was the precursor to the UN.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Jane wrote a book about it.
That's why I kept saying
did
it.
You?
It was a mistake every single... I mean, no, it was intentional every single time that I said it. No, it was a mistake every single time. But it was... My brain just went League of and then just finished with Nations.
That episode...
I mean, it's better that than Legends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of toxic fandoms, that episode went live today. And Jane, who is a wonderful person, has written so many amazing comments on Discord and in I think in the YouTube that was like, yay, we're talking about the League of Nations, because that is one of Jane's specialties.
Yes, yeah, which is
so
awesome.
Jane, tell us all about the League of Nations.
Yes,
this is your time, Jane.
I would love to read those comments, actually.
I would love to read those. If you have cool expertise that isn't, making fun of us.
Yeah.
Because also the other thing is multiple comments I saw were like 3 industry professionals and none of you recognized this actor.
None of you recognized this guy who was famous in the 70s. Like, I'm sorry I was born in the 90s and that I haven't watched every show that's ever fucking aired.
I wasn't here. You're just old. Anyways.
I'm happy that...
You need to know all the media.
Allie hits a bunch of sound buttons, but I don't think you can hear it.
No. I can. Maybe not on the podcast.
Okay, well, all of that played on the podcast. Look, here's
I got
the thing.
excited, and then the wire went down on the soundboard.
All respect, truly, all respect to the man from Uncle. He was a very, very, very good villain in Infection. He was great. He was really good.
Yeah.
He was still doing 90s acting. It's not a bad thing.
No, it's stylistically different.
Yes.
So is the writing.
Yep.
I have drank 2.5 glasses of sake. I'm filter off right now to talk about
We got to talk about the episode so I can go to the gym.
But first,
it closes at 10. We got to do this.
Fuck the gym. We got to talk about my Vorlon theory.
Need to go to the gym.
Oh, that's right. you do have a Vorlon theory.
I had a Vorlon theory, and I came up with a really, really, really overwrought Earth theory on my way to work, and then I had a very stressful day at work, and I forgot the Earth theory. But the Vorlon theory, this is not correct. I'm going to preface with this is wrong.
Okay.
But a couple weeks ago, I was listening to our old episodes because I'm a narcissist. And Jen, when I talked about Kosh on TikTok, Jen said, he's before his time. And I went, okay, the Vorlons have time traveled back in time from the future. And they're here to help and facilitate the world to get to where it needs to be. But they have to kind of keep a distance from it. Now, that's incorrect. But that is my crackpot Vorlon theory. My crackpot Earth theory had something to do with Earth, like, intervened in the war against the Dilgar because they really wanted to do shitty stuff, and the Minbari were going to war against the Earth because they thought that they wanted to be Dilgar 2.0, and then when they abducted Jeff, they were like, oh, he seems cool, and he has some insight, because in Soul Hunter, Delenn was like, I knew you could. She's very specific.
We're trouble when you walked in.
Very, very specific Jeff stuff.
Very specific
it was something along those lines of like, they thought that humans were intrinsically aligned towards being militaristic and conquering.
Genocidal.
Yeah, well, genocidal. And cockroach vaders with arm cannons.
Some of us, and the others are like, are these ones ruining our vibe?
But then they happened to grab, of all people, Jeff, the guy. And they were like, there's some nuance here. Let's see what they do with this. Okay. And so they held off, because the three things that I will never let go. One is Babble On 4. The other two are the rock garden conversation with, I don't mean to flip you off, Allie. The rock garden conversation with Delenn, and the thing in Soul Hunter where Delenn is delusional.
Why are you choosing these two?
Because otherwise I'm flipping you off, because this was
one.
No, this
and then two.
This was Babylon 4.
Yeah, one was Babylon 4.
You go, one was Babylon 4, and two was the rock garden.
Yeah, but the rock garden is not relevant.
The
rock garden is not relevant to Babylon 4. Babylon 4 and the rock garden.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't
These
matter.
are separate thoughts.
No, for those listening to the podcast who are not watching, we're just
audience is in
shambles.
Okay, Babylon 4. I'm holding up my index finger.
Three though.
The other thing, I'm holding up my middle finger, and then the rock garden finger is my ring finger, which is very hard to hold up by itself.
It's really hard.
If you're listening,
you could have also gone 1, 2.
I'm not European. I don't count with my thumb.
Oh, I do.
Europeans do 1, 2, 3 with their thumb.
Yeah.
Do Canadians count with their thumb first?
You want to get into a fight about the metric system?
You know why? It's not because of Canadians.
Not again.
Because my mom was a sign language interpreter, so it's a part of
cool.
This is the sign language for 3, so I just default to doing that for 3. Yeah.
There you go.
Because that's A. No, B. Right?
No,
they
that's
can't
D.
see.
That's
the
D.
podcast audience can't see us. We need to abandon this train of thought immediately.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. Those are some of my theories.
Right? Rock
garden was ripples. Yeah,
okay,
when she said one ripple, because she's talking to Jeff, and
this is A.
Delenn specifically seems really relevant to Jeff, and she married him.
Wait,
yeah.
Ripples and pebbles. Because didn't what did Kosh say tonight? Something about pebbles? The pebbles
Oh! When there's an avalanche, you don't ask the pebbles what they think.
Yeah, the avalanche has started, but there's no room for the pebbles to vote. Are you writing that down?
Wait, no. There you go. X-Files music.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the general consensus, I mean, when Kosh speaks, that you have to interpret what he believes, or what he's saying. Like, it's not like, oh, he said A, it obviously means blah, blah, blah. But one of the interpretations that I think is the general consensus, he was talking about how they already started doing this. They already started violating consent. Basically, they operated on me. And I am an avalanche. You're a pebble. Like, I don't care. Like, that was his sort of, the avalanches started. Who cares what the pebble, like, the pebbles don't get to vote. Yeah.
Here's another thing.
Can we talk about the kids so I can go
No.
I have to go to the
we
gym.
can't do that.
Because if I don't go to the gym, I'm going to lose my mind.
You'll get to the gym. Here's another thing. Here's another thing about Kosh.
Now.
He had hands in episode 1.
Does he not now?
In the pilot.
Yeah, in the pilot he had hands.
Does he no longer have hands?
Well, you remember when the
little hat man,
not Gilbert Gottfried gave him the crystal, a goofy little pincher came out of his coat.
Okay, that was probably just a revive of the character, though, right?
I know, but it's just interesting.
Oh, no, that is interesting. I did not notice that at all.
Yeah.
You're very detail-oriented, Gus. I really
am a
appreciate
nerd.
that. Oh, I really appreciate that about you.
You don't need to tell us you're a nerd. It's fine.
Apparently, I don't.
You really don't.
But also, doesn't he have?
It's pretty apparent right away.
Doesn't he have different appendages if you watch the Amazon version or the DVD version?
I mean, there was some editing stuff, but yeah, they haven't actually seen that, so yeah.
Right. That's
right. Anyway.
Okay, I will shut up now. I'll shut the fuck up, and we can actually talk about the depressisode.
The depressisode.
The egisode.
The egisode.
Yes. And I do apologize for wanting you here for this, but I just thought it would be
I'm always happy to be wanted. I'm always happy to be wanted, even if it's so that I am depressed in front of strangers.
And you cry on television, or cry on the internet.
Yeah, I love crying on the internet. I've done it several times now. Okay. My heart chakra is way too open for this episode. That's on me for doing spiritual work on myself. I actually shouldn't have done that at all. I should go back to, you know what? Turns out shadow work, chakra work, acupuncture. I shouldn't have done any of that because now I'm too open.
Unlocked your jaw, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I fucked up. I actually should go back to Lockjaw Alley. That was apparently keeping all the feelings inside. It was a little Pandora's box I did there. I mean, I'm not sure what's left to say that hasn't already been said. Steve did the wrong thing. Steve bonered that real hard.
Well, here's the thing. There are a lot of people who do not watch the reactions. Who do listen to this.
Steve decided, with all of his wisdom, to save a child who was dying. Now, hold on. Before you are on Steve's side, crucial information. The parents and the child objected to the surgery for religious reasons, and Steve said, fuck you guys and consent, and just did it anyway. So then the parents murdered their child.
They ritually sacrificed their child.
Because he was a shell and he had no soul.
Yeah,
because
no spirit. He had no spirit.
Murder, actually. Like that was something that came up in the discussion at the time. Is like, wouldn't the parents have been taken for murder? It's like, no. What happens within your own species? You were just like, if they had done it interspecies, if they had killed Stephen, he would have gone to jail. But because it's within their own species, you're judged by the morality of your
species, which is probably correct.
Yes. Yeah.
If I had watched this when I was like, I'm sorry, you were going to say something, Jen.
No, you go.
If I had watched this when I was like 20, as I did with many of the more nuanced Star Trek episodes, I would have very, very bluntly been like, this is stupid and they're wrong and this is very simple. But now I'm in my 30s and I've experienced the world a little bit. And while I vehemently disagree with the parents' decisions to not operate on their child and then kill him, I kind of get it. Like,
what I get about it is that Steve was also objectively wrong.
Steve was entirely
wrong. You cannot perform surgery on someone who does not want it. That's just one of these founding principles of medicine. With like the parents, I was like, well, there's some nuance there. If the child wants surgery and the parents don't want the child to have surgery, then I'm like, well, then perform the surgery. Fuck it. Because the kid wants it. But the kid expressly said that he did not want it for religious reasons. And in that case, you have no choice morally as a doctor but to allow your patient to die the way that they wish to. That is just like basic medical principles. It's unfortunate and it's frustrating. I am sure I'm not a doctor, but I know that the concept of people not following science can, as a deeply spiritual person myself, is inherently rather frustrating. However, you do not get to make a decision like that for somebody else. You just don't.
Can I read the full text of the contemporary Hippocratic Oath? Because I think it's relevant to the discussion of this episode.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So as of the 60s.
Wait, also, in addition to that, can I just make one more point before we move on?
Please.
There is a troubling history, in our country at least, of people performing medical procedures without the consent of their patients.
Yes, there is.
Specifically,
that's why that exists.
Specifically, what, Jen?
I was just going to say, specifically, usually patients who are underrepresented as well.
I was about to say that too. Yeah, especially for minorities.
It is still legal.
And women.
It is still legal in many states for doctors to perform pelvic exams on women who are unconscious.
Yeah. Without their consent, without their knowledge, even. They never learn about it. Yeah.
In front of other medical students.
Yeah.
Okay. So because I think it's relevant to the episode, as of the 60s, and this is still relatively accurate. What's this say here? Okay. Look, I'm going to be a little bit wrong, but this is the text of the Hippocratic Oath as recently as I can find it on Wikipedia, which is not a Wikipedia page related to Babble On 5, by the way.
Yes.
Quote, I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability and judgment this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow.
Stephen didn't screw that one up.
I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures that are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, therefore their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially must I tread with care in matters of life and death. If it is given me to save a life, all thanks, but it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. Above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat.
And he said, people come to me to be a God. Literally in your oath, bro. Literally in your oath.
I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes these related problems. My responsibility includes these related problems if I am to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. Prevention, not cure. Okay. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings. I imagine they would have updated
they probably update that,
yeah.
The sound of mind and body as well as the infirm. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respected while I live and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. In the 80s, many medical schools use a Geneva Declaration instead, or a modified oath or another.
But this is the 90s, right?
Yeah, so this is
probably
very,
the same
very
one.
relevant.
Well, and assuming that at this point there's a intergalactic,
version of
interplanetary version of this, but the gist of it is the
Don't fuck
patient
around.
should come first. What they want should come first.
And you have to remember you're treating a person, not a disease. And that was,
That's what he lost out on.
Yeah, and this was not a situation where, like, if I don't treat him, the infection is going to spread to the rest of Babble On 5.
No.
Like, this was not an infectious situation.
That is certainly different.
The only people who were affected immediately were the parents and the child. And they all agreed that it wasn't something they wanted.
Yep.
And so, I had two things that really, and I'll be curious to see what you guys think of this. As you said while we were watching it, Gus, you were like, this is an episode that has been done time and again. Allie, you were like, Grey's Anatomy and everything else. We've all seen this episode.
We've all seen this episode.
Yeah, but it's done really well. Because it is relevant, but it's done really well here. I love that they didn't just point a finger and be like, those dumb hicks who have some religion. It was like, these were a very, elevated group.
Some people in the episode did, but that was for a point.
Yeah, exactly. But that's another one of my points, though. I felt like there were two things that were very 90s and were very showy, pushed the stereotypes or pushed the writing to a place to make sure the audience got it, which was Steven's smugness after he did it. And he was just like, doop, doop, doop. And he was like smiling.
I got it. I did good. He straight up said, I did good.
I did good.
And he was so clearly like directed to do that. That was like written to the episode, which felt heavy handed for me to like compared to today's audience. I think we would have been a little bit less obvious about it. And
unfortunately, though, there are some people that we have to write to who think that this show is not woke. So, you know, we do have to,
we have to make sure that they
hold their hand a little bit.
Play to the back of the room kind of thing.
Bless their hearts and all that.
Right. But then there's also then the parents and their comment, not only they're like, he's a demon and like, blah, 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 what have you done? And two things. My question is, when they walked in the room, did he look different to them? Because he said, I don't feel different. So was it that he looked different to them, or were they just like, he was almost dead and now he's not, so obviously you did the thing?
Yeah, we never know.
Yeah, and if there was a way for them to have never known, would they have responded that way? But also their whole thing of like, when Stephen was like, yeah, but this is what I believe and this is what I want to do. And they were like, yeah, but you weren't born of the egg. And their smugness of like, we are better, we are holier than all of you. And so therefore our spirit, you can cut yourselves open because you're basically food animals, but we are better than you. Also, I was like, made me hate them and made me want to punch them. The last episode was about punching. I wanted to punch a lot of people in this episode.
Yeah. When I say we never know, what I meant is we don't know what they saw. Like we don't see their perspective. So maybe they like, and we're not given that. One of the things James said in his note, like in this episode, everyone's wrong. Like everyone makes except for Jeff. Like Stephen makes a bad decision, but the parents also, like he's not coming in and saying, "Oh, this is the right choice." Like it's
they euthanize their fucking son.
Yeah,
for no reason. I mean, purely spiritual, religious reasons, which I'm like, it's not good.
Yeah,
I'm not on their side.
This is one of those few, like, it's much like with the Wheel of Time, which I've read like so many times that it becomes a case of I don't remember my first reaction to things often. This one I do, because I have almost the same reaction every single time where I'm baffled at myself because I am frustrated with the parents. So like with them making that choice. And yet when they go around to the ambassadors, I'm so frustrated that nobody helps them. Which is so, it's like, it's such a weird place to be. It's like, I don't want them to win. And yet it's so frustrating that because they are from a minor race, they have no voice. They have nobody to help them. And
that's a recurrent theme here.
Yeah. Being from a minor race is
you're fucked.
Shitty.
They don't have an ambassador. They don't even have Kalika.
No. They get one vote in the...
They get none. They get no voice on the station.
Yeah. It's bullshit.
Except that, and then that speaks to Jeff again, right? Because Sinclair is like, you have no ambassador. So I'm here to advocate for you because that is my job as the leader of this place, which was I thought,
and he made
beautiful.
the right call, and he made the right call ultimately. And it's very frustrating, I'm sure, as a leader to have made the right call and then have been completely undermined by a man who shouldn't have come to you with this choice in the first place, as he said, because his oath already tells him what the right decision is. His oath already tells him it'd be a completely different thing if the child wanted to be operated on.
Yes.
Completely different conversation.
Yeah, you can't violate patient consent, man.
But you cannot violate patient consent ever.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fundamental right of ours.
Yeah.
That we get
bodily autonomy.
That we get to say over how we are treated.
It's bodily autonomy.
It's and it's frustrating sometimes because some people are dumb and make bad decisions. But like,
you know what?
But that's their right.
You were talking about Stephen's arrogance, and the thought that I had during that, my mom just recently had to have back surgery, and then she's needed to go in for hip surgery. And when she was meeting with her surgeon, we talked about it before. And she's like, he was so arrogant. And I literally was like, good. I want a surgeon doing surgery on my mom to be arrogant. But then like you get this, like, I want him to think I know how to fix this. I know, I'm confident. Like I want him to have that. But I wonder if that level of arrogance sort of leads to this, but I play God. I get to make all the decisions kind of thing.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
I don't know that doctor, so
no,
I cannot say.
I don't know him either. But like she was like, it was just so. He was just like, this is what I'm going to do, and that's going to be perfect, and I'm going to like. He had an attitude in the thing that made her feel like he was, I'm so much smarter than you. I was like, well, that's good. I would want the surgeon to make me feel like that. Like that's how I would want to feel in that meeting. But that's just me. I want a surgeon. If somebody's cutting into my body, I want them to be like incredibly competent and feel like they're the best at their job. So,
but it is, and so speaking of like writing and getting assigned things and getting assigned things that either trigger us or that were appropriate to write because we might have some relation to it and get it. Like at the time JMS assigned him to write this episode, I'll take a gander. I don't know this for sure, but I'll say most of his writing staff didn't have kids. And so he was like, you're the only one with a kid. You got to take this episode. Right. So like there is that thing. And, I have some very, very personal and pretty extreme experiences with the medical profession in the last year and a couple months. And
same.
There is going back to the Stephen thing and Stephen's comment to, and this is explored all the time. And it's like the premise of the beginning of Doctor Strange. But there is this godlike identity that surgeons in particular I think often have, which is I do what no one else can do, and I have the power of life and death in my hands, and that gives them a God complex and a holier than thou complex. And have they studied more? Yes. Have they trained more? Do they know more?
Not every surgeon.
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not every surgeon. By far.
Not every surgeon. It literally
his mother's
is a stereotype.
doctor, so we're like, we're always like, okay, some doctors are great. It's like a whole.
Well, I would argue that
actually a stereotype even among doctors about surgeons specifically. Yeah.
Sure. But I would also argue that
her best friend is a surgeon who's amazing. So like, it's
yes. And then we writers think that we actually hold life and death in our hands and can tell you all how to feel about everything too. So, I'm not saying I don't have one of those God complexes of my own, but I do think that there's an unhealthy relationship between the fact that our general populace don't know enough about healthcare and about their own bodies and about what questions to ask a doctor or to ask a surgeon. And in this particular instance, I thought this was such a beautiful example of, no, we're telling you exactly what we need. And because I think a lot of people don't. A lot of people are afraid to express themselves to a doctor or to say, well, I'm not sure what that means, or do I really need this, or is this the right thing? Because they don't know the answers. They don't know enough. They're not educated enough in the medical profession, because they're not, to know what to ask. And in this instance, we saw this very, I love Stephen, the character, and I'm right now, it's going to take me a few episodes to get past this, because he's been this really benevolent kind of character, and his absolute not hearing them, despite the fact that we all know what they were doing was probably not right. But, like his just unwillingness to have that conversation and to hear them because he knows better.
Yeah.
And also he, like his whatever, Hernandez, like, did you research it? What'd you find in your researches? And everybody kept saying, is he definitely going to die? And he was like, he's definitely going to die. And I'm like, well, that's also, it's part of, you read it, Gus. It was part of the Hippocratic Oath, which is just, I wrote it down. The quote was, I know not. You have to be willing to say, I know not, and ask someone else. And in this instance, it wasn't like, I don't know how to treat lung infections, so I need to get a lung infection specialist. It was, but he certainly can't speak with the definitiveness of he will definitely die.
This minor species,
yeah.
Like,
so that all of it.
Call one of their doctors. I know that's not in the script, whatever, but like that's what he should have done.
So I'm just like, that's all I'm saying is that, and agreed. The medical, one of my best friends is a doctor. Like there are, our medical people could be amazing and wonderful, and the ones who listen, and who hear what a patient, and who actually take that part of the Hippocratic Oath, not just save life, but the whole part of it, that's really huge. And that's really important. But I think that it's not always the case.
And meanwhile, I had a doctor that knew I have recovered from an eating disorder who fat shamed me. So it's like,
Yeah, there you go.
When I'm well within
Yeah.
Even if I weren't. But it was
no.
wild because I was
don't go to that doctor anymore. To be clear.
I don't. I was like, absolutely not, and I left. But like, I've had great doctors and I've had terrible doctors.
Yeah,
and but his mom's favorite joke is, do you know what they call the dumbest doctor at medical school?
The person who graduates last of their class.
Yeah, a doctor. Yeah, they're still called a doctor.
A lot of wonderful doctors. I'm not saying doctors are bad. My mom's a doctor.
No.
But there's also some that aren't good. So it's not a monolith either way.
Dr. Steven is on my shit list.
Steve fucked up. That's not a good doctor moment for Steve.
No,
Steve totally beefed it.
He beefed hard.
Another thing that happened this episode, Ivanova got 3.5 scenes in a fucking Star Fury.
Okay, before we move on to the Ivanova plot line, and I'm putting huge quotes around the term plot line, because what the fuck?
Yeah.
I want to just call out, because I remember it I notice it every single time. The actor playing Sean, I think he just, for like, usually child actors, they're
very hard to cast a good child actor. It's very difficult.
I think he did an amazing
for kids.
Yeah, I think he did an amazing job. His name is Jonathan Charles Kaplan, and obviously he's an adult now, but he has a very, very robust. That's how time works.
He's a very talented man.
I'm not going to look him up just in case he comes back from the fucking dead and becomes a major character in season 4 when Babylon 4 returns.
Looks like he's done a lot of video game voice acting.
I do have to go.
Allie's going to jump ship so she can go to the gym.
I'm not because the gym will close very soon. I do have to go. But bye, my loves. This was so much fun to talk about.
Yes, Mwah. I'm glad. Thanks for joining us.
But I'm still
is this the what shade of gray council is this, or this is the pink council? I don't know.
This is the beige council.
Beige council. There we go. Yes. So let's talk about Ivanova.
What is there to talk about?
Incredibly relevant.
There's nothing to talk about. Ivanova wanted to go and do a pew pew space bang boom kabow, and then she did, and then she was like, "Uh-oh," but it turned out.
It turned out fine. Raiders were attacking a civilian ship. She protected them, and then it worked out.
Why? Why was that there?
I have so many issues with it, and one of them is I was just reading this thing about how in the first episode, in the pilot episode of Next Generation, so we can talk about that because Allie's not here. In the first pilot episode of Next Generation, which DC Fontana wrote, Roddenberry was like, "This script isn't fat enough. We need more," because it was a 2-parter. It was all it's all about Farpoint. So he dropped in Q. So he took DC's script and he dropped in Q.
Q was an addition to that?
Yes. And DC Fontana was pissed. And apparently it actually kind of I don't know if it ruined their friendship, but it was a big rift for them.
For those who, really quick, if you haven't seen Encounter at Farpoint or all of Star Trek The Next Generation, the entire frame of Star Trek The Next Generation.
The entire frame of the show is
literally the frame of the show is that Q has humanity on trial to see whether or not Q being a omnipotent godlike being to see if they deserve to survive or not. And he shows up in the first episode, Encounter at Farpoint, does a bunch of weird bullshit.
Yeah.
And that was added?
He was added. And neither of you are watching Strange New Things yet? Strange New Worlds.
Is Q in that? You can tell me if the Q are in it. I mean, I know they're in Voyager.
No. Yeah, I know the Q. Yeah, the Q are in Voyager. They're not in Strange New Worlds.
Speaking of that, though, I don't know if did you see this in the notes, Jen?
I didn't have time to read the notes because I was editing my one.
Ivanova was an addition. Ivanova was an addition.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say.
Why?
Okay, I didn't read it in the notes, so let me just I'm gonna say I knew it, and I wish I had read it in the notes. But to me, I was like, they were short. They were like, we made a really heavy episode. It's really hard. We need something to cut away to. We need a B story. We need something else because this is just too much. It was so much that they couldn't write any more of it. And they're like, here's the whole story, and it's only going to take up 30 2 minutes, 37 minutes, whatever. We need another 8 minutes. And so they threw in that. I was like, 100. I was like, I knew it. I was like, they threw in that Ivanova subplot. JMS wrote it. That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why I know he wrote it, or why I know. Because her stupid tantrum was so not good. It made me so mad. I was like,
at the beginning.
Yeah.
And JMS is such a, like, I'm such a fan of JMS. He's such a, like, he's so women forward. He's like, he's absolutely feminist. I don't have a problem with that. But her, like, fine, I'll just, like, fine, Garibaldi can go. And I was like, and then at the end, she was like, can you say cabin fever? And I was like, then why wasn't it written like cabin fever? It was written like, you're pissed because I never get to go out and Garibaldi gets to do everything because I'm going to sit here and knit. It was like, because I'm a girl. So were you saying it because I'm a girl, you never send me out? And then at the end, she like ends all of that by saying it's cabin fever. And I'm like, is it just cabin fever? Because why did you talk about knitting and like go on about how Garibaldi gets to do cool stuff, but you don't? Which to me that is one of the things that JMS did in the early seasons that used to make me crazy. I was like, that's not the way we would say it. That's not the way I would express it. And you're doing what you think we want to see. You're putting it on the page what you think we want to see of like how a person would act. But it's a carbon copy of that. Anyway, so that's my whole thing about that. I was
That's
like,
funny.
this feels plugged in by JMS. Anyway, I've been saving that up for the whole time. I was just like, this doesn't have anything to do with anything. And then I love that they were like, let's tie it in by making it like
that was
this kid and
good.
family come together. It was a really nice way to make it like relevant. Because otherwise it wasn't relevant.
The rest of it was completely fucking pointless. I'm sorry. It was cool.
And nothing paid off. She's
nothing
like,
happened.
I'm going to chase this guy down so he can't call home. And it was like, it was the stereotypical, like, it was Han Solo and the stormtroopers. It was like, pew, pew. And then you run down the hall and then all the stormtroopers there and oh shit. And you turn around and run away. It was just
she had like one line like, I left because they wouldn't break formation.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did you set that shit up?
Yeah. Here's the quote from there's a page, Lurker's Guide to Babylon 5, and it has a section just called JMS Speaks, which I think is just pulling in any comment he made at the time about the episode. So this is the comment. There was some small amount of blurring that goes on in the show. A freelancer turns into a script and things get added. For example, there was a need to really tighten up the story in Believers, which could best be done by bringing in a small B story, which would allow us to streamline and intensify the main story. So I wrote the B story and slipped it in.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's interesting because back at this time, when you had 20, 22, 25 episodes a season, you had to, by Writers Guild rules, you had to actually assign a certain number of them to freelancers. So, and we all know he didn't have a staff anyway, like he had such a tiny staff. But even if you had a full staff at that time, you actually had to freelance out a certain number of episodes. It was like required.
Oh, interesting.
It's a chance to give people a place to get a script.
Sense. So,
and so it makes sense. And you know, like you would have this whole outline and he gave us to a freelancer who had kids because he was the only guy who had kids and said, go write this episode. And then you get it in and it doesn't feel quite right because the person's just not as familiar with the show, you know?
No.
So,
yeah. The Ivanova storyline is, it's there. Like it's there. That's how our storyline feels. Yeah.
I'm always happy to see Ivanova.
Yes,
she
always.
She didn't contribute anything
to
the episode.
Really. Like it's a storyline that is there. I only remember it now because we just watched the episode. If you asked me like in 2 months about this episode and said, what's the B plot? I would not tell you. I couldn't, it's not going to come to mind at all.
You know, that's funny because now when I talk about Parliament of Dreams, I'm like, the religion one.
See?
Oh,
and
right.
Remember?
There's an assassination in it.
Yes. Remember during the podcast, and I was like, the A plot, the religion plot. You were like, wait, what?
Not at all, actually. It's the assassination. But
yeah, that's not what you think about with that episode.
I want to add this. This is also in the notes really quick, Jenny, because this is for Gus, so he'll appreciate this, and it's not just for Great Council. So he was talking about the writer, David Gerald, did come by set, and he was like, sometimes writers get kicked off set. We really want to make it welcoming for them. So there he is, and he was really excited because it was being filmed exactly like he imagined. And I'm like, wait, this is like a paragraph after he says I rewrote his whole script. And I'm typing everything and added this whole thing, but okay. But okay.
Well, he added only the B story. That's it. Was
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then he says, well, what was... Oh, go ahead. I was going to say what he said was interesting was one comment he made, which echoed almost verbatim something DC Fontana said when she came by the stage, that the atmosphere on set with the crew, the cast, the production people is exactly the same as it was on the first season of original Star Trek.
Oh.
Anyway. That's just, I just thought that was just.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry, what were you going to say, guys?
I
cut you off. Yeah.
I was going to make a dumb joke about how he envisioned there being a curtain drawn around a bed and no set dressing, which doesn't matter because 2/3 of the episode was a curtain drawn around a bed and no set dressing, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, this
1/3 of the budget of DS9. You got to find ways to
do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You hire really fucking good child actors.
I mean, all the actors are good, but I like when child actors are on. Usually, I just like in my brain, I have to like go child actor and like basically grace around what they are doing on stage or on the screen. But this child, it's
Sean
very,
was great.
Yeah,
he was great.
Really good.
He was really good, which made it all the harder both to watch.
Yes,
all of it, and like, and then the sound effects and his like, you know,
the way he did the breathing, even that.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah,
in a good way. Yeah. It's good, man. I mean, look, I say that a lot on this podcast. I mean, look, it was heavy. It was depressing. It was terrible in a lot of ways, but it was really strong. It's the best example of that particular genre of episode I think I've seen.
Yeah. And much like with whatever episode ends where like with Mind Hunter or Mind, whatever you call it, with not Daniel, Jason Ironheart, you get the end of that episode and like there's no answers, like everything's a mystery still. One of the things about this episode that he like, it's like he got complaints that people wrote in and said, I'm really upset that you said that the parent, like you took the parent's side. And then other people wrote in, I'm really upset that you took the doctor's side. And he's like, I didn't take a side. Like literally everybody was wrong. Like that was the point, was that everybody made the wrong decision in this episode.
He presented a really fucked up scenario that happens every day.
Yeah.
In real life.
I mean, I have an aunt very like recently who died, who is Christian Scientist, as you brought up. Like she was very like she was a social whatever, I don't know what to call it, like a philanthropist. That's the wrong word because she wasn't rich, but like there's a mural to her in Bermuda because she did so much charity work and whatnot. Like if you drive down the street, there's a big woman on a wall. That's my aunt, and she died because she refused treatment. And like, it's whenever my dad talks about it, he gets really like, he can't talk about it without getting really angry because
I get it.
She shouldn't be dead. Like,
that didn't need to happen, but
but it was
tell
her
people what to do.
Choice. Like it was her choice.
It was her choice. Yeah. Well, you were just talking about child actors. So I'm going to go back for a second really quickly. And this is a podcast, so no one can see it unless they're watching the video. But, Clint Howard was in the Corbomite maneuver in the original series. And I was like, when we first saw the kid, it's not the same actor, but this is Ron Howard's brother. But when we first saw the actor, for a second, I was like, oh no.
Baylock,
Because he scares me so much on the Corbomite maneuver because he's so weird. Because he's such a weird baby, like weird thing in that particular episode. Love me some original series. And you two need to watch Strange New World.
I'm sorry.
I will.
Get past my mental block with that show.
But I will.
Do you have any further thoughts for the Zocalo? Otherwise, I have to kick you out.
No, I'll get out of here. It's an hour. This is the longest Zocalo ever.
I know.
On the most depressing episode ever. Unless you cut like fully a quarter of what we were yapping about, which is you're
probably
right.
not. But
so, no, whatever. Okay, I'll leave because this was great. This is really good. Like holy crap!
Like 1993. This is
I can't believe that made air.
Yeah, I will say I said this to Jen at the end of our last episode in the Grey Council. I feel like this was JMS's This Isn't Star Trek. episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Star Trek would have had a happy ending. Like yeah.
Star Trek would have saved the kid and taken him away from the religious parents. Because Star
'cause
Trek
religion is bad and evil and stupid.
Kind of falls that way more often than
and
not.
Kirk would have been like, we're doing it because we're saving the kid. And Star Trek would have portrayed it where the kid was like, I want that. That's what I want.
Saved.
Yeah.
And the parents would have been purely domineering and unreasonable and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, no, this is not how. Oh, I remember. I remember what it was.
I did it. We did it.
There is another modern show that recently. I didn't watch the full episode because it's an incredibly realistic medical drama, and it makes me
The Pit?
Violently. It's The Pit.
I
Extremely
watched
nauseous.
one episode of that. And I got very ill. It was like I can't watch the rest of the show. I got physically ill watching it.
Phenomenal show. My mom, I've mentioned before, retired doctor, is like, this is the most accurate medical drama I have ever seen in my life. ER people are like, this is what it's like right now. It's fucking terrible. But there is an episode that I've seen clips of, because I can't watch the whole show because, again, it's gritty and very realistic and really hard.
Literally became physically ill watching it,
Yeah. There is kind of a, by the way, Walter White actor, Bryan Cranston's daughter is on it.
Oh, okay. So is Noah Wiley, literally Dr. Carter.
She's great, by the way. I didn't know she was Bryan Cranston's daughter. Like there are Nepo hires that are good, is what I'm going to say.
Yes,
it does happen.
But there is an episode where one of the subplots is that a family brings in their kid and he's had some kind of injury or illness. And the ER technicians and doctors and nurses are like, this is what we need to do. But the mom keeps on pulling up WebMD and pulling up, up to all of these different websites and be like, no, but this says this, but this says this, but this says this. And it's the same episode, kind of, to this, where she keeps on delaying and deferring treatment and saying, no, we can't do this because this says this might be a risk. And the internet says this could happen. And eventually the main guy snaps at her and he's like, do you want me to do my fucking job or not? And I think it's really interesting that, like, while this exact thing that happened in this episode does still happen, where there are religious beliefs that conflict with medical treatment. Of course, it's universal. It's always going to happen.
Sure, of course.
It's interesting to me that there is a contemporary agnostic or atheistic parallel to this, which is the self-diagnosis and people going, well, I understand with my Google search as much as you do with your medical degree. Which. You can't get 4 years of education from a Google search.
and the next step of that is I can do WebMD and do Google search, or I can also like listen to what the conspiracy theorists are saying online about this disease and that disease, and this is why I know better than everybody else about how to treat it or what to do.
This is why I don't think it's ever a good idea to Google any medical thing, because you can find evidence to support almost any self-diagnosis. I know this because I've done it. And then I call my mom and she goes, stop doing that. So moral of the story, go to a doctor, but also, this shit's nuanced and hard. I'll get out of here right now. This was great. Thanks for this, even though it was one of the most upsetting things I've seen in a very long time. So
you're welcome.
Have fun in the Great Council. I'm sure that there will be a lot to talk about of the long-term ramifications of the one guy Ivanova blew up having ended up being the catalyst for season 3's main story arc.
Buckle up, Jenny. We're here for a while.
Yeah,
Bye.
That's it.
Ah, my friends! You have reached the most dangerous part of our journey, the Grey Council. Here we speak of things that must not be spoken. Secrets, betrayals, spoilers. If you are not ready, turn back now. But if you dare to proceed, I promise you it will be magnificent. Oh, Mr. Garibaldi!
I'm going to say it's probably going to be one of the shortest Great Councils we'll ever have.
Probably, yeah.
Because we've said everything we need to say, and while certainly themically there are things here that are going to be revisited, themically there really isn't a lot of particularly plot stuff that's going to be relevant
Random Grey Cancel note, just because he mentioned Bryan Cranston is in Babylon 5. Yeah. Yeah, just like season 4, he's in one episode. In a scene that makes me cry every single time, because I am a soft touch. But yeah, we just mentioned Bryan Cranston. I was like, hey, there you go.
They're going to be surprises as we keep going, and like getting into the later 90s where some of the actors they know will actually start to show up.
Yep, exactly.
Since they don't know General Hospital.
Oh, yes, because everybody, yes, your favorite show, as we know.
My favorite show that I watched all the time.
Is it still on?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's one of the few. I think there's only a few soaps still on, I think, but I'm pretty sure. I think so. Okay. I'm not 100% sure, but if it is, they film it a few minutes away from my house.
Minutes away from here, yeah. Okay. As for long-term stuff, weirdly, the most long-term stuff, and it's not even that long-term, but is with the Ivanova storyline.
Right, exactly. That's what I was like, JMS dropping that in was like, oh, I can also just drop a little thing that we're going to touch later on the Raiders, and we'll the way that works and what that's about. And in that sense, I didn't mind him bringing it in because it's like just a little setup for something that we'll see later. It did, though. It just did not. It didn't fit here. It didn't fit here.
But the Raiders are the Raiders, I think, are being. I don't know if they're being propped up by the Shadows, but their storyline feels like it's going to be something, and then the Shadows just come in and blow them up, and then it's like, that's it. So yeah.
But it was also like it also just felt like it was also so clearly tacked on because it's not a well thought out story. Like she's like, I just want to go on an adventure. She goes on an adventure. She gets there and she's like, well, we got to wait a little while. And it's going to take us an hour to get back to the jump gate. I call it a jump gate. I know I'm wrong. And
no, jump gate is right.
Jump gate is right. Okay, good.
Yeah, jump gate is
so
right.
Funny.
Yeah.
I get that mixed up with Stargate. Yeah. And even Battlestar. Aren't they jump gates in Battlestar? No, they're not. They're not.
I forget what they call
they just go to FTL. They just spool up the FTL drive in Battlestar. Right. But anyway, I was like, it's not even carefully thought out. It's so clearly an afterthought. It's so clearly just tacked on because it's just, and then she says, oh shit, I got to run away. And she runs away and then she's home.
And she's fine. Yeah. He did explain that because people asked, like, how did she look so dangerous? He's like, she just went really fast. And it, like the way he described it, he's like, it wouldn't have been interesting to watch. So it was like, yeah, okay.
And it wasn't interesting to write either, JMS. It wasn't interesting to write.
So the way he described it is like it would not have been, I forget the words he used, but she just like went really fast and then it wouldn't have been cinematic or something like that.
Right.
As far as other stuff, Steve, something I actually meant to mention in the pilot. I don't know if Dr. Ben Kyle, when he's talking with Takashima, says something about how he's on stims. Right. Like he's taking, I remember like Ali made a joke, like, you're going to have coffee on stims, your soul is going to ascend from your body or whatever. And stims become a huge part of Steven's storyline. He becomes addicted to stims. So that's something that carried over. It's not ever mentioned in this episode, but it's like I seeing some sort of roots of his issues here, like where he feels he has to be in control and
which and maybe we will bring that up too, because I'm sure Gus will be the first one then to say, just like, I mean, that is an issue in the medical profession, is that I mean, when I I was privy to watch the most incredible urgent care, what's it called, the ward, not ER, but after you're in the ER and it's dangerous,
OR?
Anyway,
I have no idea.
Like intensive care.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
The ICU, like most amazing ICU nurses who work 12-hour shifts every day. Like that's just the way it's set up. Is you're going to come in and be there for 12 hours, and no one is at their best at hour 11. Like, except that these nurses they are that amazing. But I know that those kinds of ridiculous hours and the expectations and the physical demands on people who work in the medical field to, like, so the Sims thing is like, that's,
okay.
When we get there more, it'll be interesting for Gus Gus's
It is
opinion on
another
it.
one of those things that's seeded relatively slowly. Like he just mentions being on stims, and then not suddenly, obviously, because it builds, but then you start to realize he has a problem later on.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
So.
He's really on my shit list, as I said, for a while.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like Steven, but there's certain things he does, especially with female patients, that I'm like, ooh. Like every time there's a female patient on his table, he caresses her head in a way. I'm like, if you were doing that, not that I actually wouldn't like that just in general, but he never does it with male patients. You never see him caressing the head of his male patients in that way. It's just like, Steven.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why? Please stop it. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know that there's a lot more Gray Council stuff.
No, not.
This is not like
really.
a long, but I think it's a very nuanced and thought-provoking episode. And I'm sorry I made Ali cry, but I'm glad she was here for it.
I know. I'm glad too. No, it was good. And I mean, they brought up good points, which is it's handled really well. It's really great. Yeah. All right.
So I think that's about it. If you enjoy this, please, things I forget to mention, I think you can rate and review us on various podcast format, whatever. You can like the video, you can check out the reaction or the unedited, fully whatever reaction on our Patreon. And that's it. Did I forget something? I'm going to get this outro down, Pat, at one point, and it's going to be like,
hey, we have a lot of episodes left to go, so we're going to get it done.
I'm going to have it it's going to be so smooth. Everybody's going to be like, that's the best outro ever. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And then it'll be like, that'll be episode 22 of season 5. Like, yes, I finally figured it out. Anyway, with that, see you next time. And Babble On.